In Neon White, you are a dead assassin from hell sent to heaven to kill invading demons in a 10-day countdown to your judgment in order to achieve salvation and make amends for your criminal past. And if that premise doesn't excite you, I'm not sure what will. Neon White is a first-person shooter cum puzzle platformer. It was developed by Angel Matrix and published by Annapurna Interactive, and it is quite frankly a delight. The gameplay revolves around you, White, a cocky but lovable rogue working your way through a series of levels as fast as you can, killing every demon you see. It's lightning-paced, responsive action, and it's brilliant. It perfectly blends precise FPS gunplay with intense parkour, and it has some of the very best level design I've seen in recent times. The gameplay is incredibly fun. The objective is simple: kill every demon in the level and get to the finishing line as fast as you can. And you do this through the use of soul cards. Now, these soul cards will be littered around the map to help you traverse terrain and take out demons. They take the form of somewhat ordinary guns: a pistol, a shotgun, a submachine gun. You also always start with a katana soul card as well. Now, these all do different damage and shoot differently. However, the vast majority of the time, you won't actually be using these for shooting enemies. You see, soul cards also have a secondary ability, all of which will allow you to bust out the most insane parkour moves. And it's these abilities which really are what the gameplay hinges on. The pistol, known as Elevate for instance, essentially gives you a double jump, or the rifle, called Godspeed, gives you a forwards dash and allows you to close great horizontal distances. Using these secondary abilities will get rid of the card, but they are often absolutely necessary to complete the level. But honestly, these make traversing this game so much fun. This was such a clever idea. The speed and fluidity you can achieve chaining these cards together is just so satisfying. And the range of secondary abilities available means the devs could make incredibly interesting levels with massive amounts of verticality and puzzle elements in which you need to use these abilities in order to get around. You can tell this was made with a love for the speedrunning genre, and I'm no speedrunner, but bloody hell does this game make me realize why people are. Blitzing through these levels, dancing almost in the air as you rain hellfire down on demons, gives you a sense of exhilaration like no other. I can't overstate how much fun this game is to play. Now, you won't start with all the soul cards available to you. As you progress through the many missions, the levels increase in difficulty and you'll find more guns at your disposal, but by that point, you're getting naturally better anyway. The game does a brilliant job of drip feeding you new soul cards and slowly upping the skill required. It never gets dull and repetitive, but it never gets overly frustrating either. It's perfect pacing. As I mentioned, speedrunning is a clear influence on this game, and each level has 4 medals you can achieve based on how fast you complete it: bronze, silver, gold, and ace. Getting gold medals and above will also increase your neon rank, which you will need to reach a certain threshold in order to unlock the next set of levels, incentivizing you to go for faster times. Now, if I was to have one criticism of the difficulty of this game, ace medals are honestly not that difficult to achieve, and in fact, if you get a gold medal, you'll unlock a hint which will show you a faster route, pretty much guaranteeing you that top medal. With a nice touch, you can actually turn this off, which I usually tend to do, and this is another point: the game has great options, honestly. You can even put aim assist on to a pretty high degree. I personally prefer to have it without, but it makes it really accessible for people who maybe don't play a lot of first-person shooters. It's important to note that going for ace medals still requires pretty perfect execution, and it's fair to say with the number of hours I put into Valorant recently, my FPS skills are at least a little above trash, so I appreciate that others may not find the movement and shooting as instinctive as I did, but this isn't a game where you're going to be stuck on a level for hours with your head in your hands. There was even a few times I managed to get an ace medal on the first try, which was honestly such an ego-boosting moment I almost posted it on Twitter. Now, I'm sure for many people, the real goal is to race your way through the global leaderboards, shaving precious nanoseconds off your time by cutting that corner or using that ability just a little bit sooner. But for those more casual players like myself, don't worry. This game might be inspired by speedrunning, but it's in no way a necessary component. Playing this casually will still give you a fantastic experience. Each level also has a special collectible item, the relevance of which I will go over later, but this item only unlocks if you've already secured a bronze medal, so you won't be able to pick it up on your first try. I don't mind this. The levels are insanely replayable, and in fact, often even after getting the ace medal, I would go back and just keep pushing for faster times simply for the fun of it. It's genuinely enjoyable looking around and trying to find shortcuts or working out how to use your soul cards more efficiently. Maybe I can shoot that demon in midair while jumping to this platform and save some time. Maybe I can skip out this section of the map if I don't use this soul card till here. The level design is genius. You can take the set path and you'll get to your destination for sure, but Neon White rewards creative thinking, and I love this. It's also very rare you won't know where to go. The puzzle aspect is less, where do I go from here, and more, how do I get there? And it's never really annoying or frustrating to work out. In fact, often the levels are designed in such a way that on the first try, you'll instinctively know what to use and where to go, even at a high speed, which is really satisfying. You kind of enter this flow state where it's very much like I am one with the soul cards as you fly through the levels, spinning around, doing crazy stunts on instinct. For sure, as you go through the game, there'll be plenty of moments where you have to stop and think and try again, but it never gets dull, and dying doesn't really feel like a penalty when it's so fast paced and you're back in the action so quickly. Reading through reviews of Neon White, the one thing I keep on seeing is non-stop praise for the level design, and I have to agree, it's brilliantly crafted. I would 100% recommend this on gameplay alone. Now, I could talk about gameplay all day, but surprisingly, the story in this game is really enjoyable too. As you go through the game, you'll meet other Neons who are also trying to survive these 10 days of judgment, but it turns out you've lost your memory, and these are actually all people from your real life, people who you knew and worked with as an assassin, and a big part of the story is uncovering your relationship to these people and events in your past. The narrative is honestly done really well. The characters are over the top as they should be, are brilliantly written and fully voice acted. Now, I will warn you, some of the dialogue people might find quote-on-quote cringy. But quite frankly, my favourite game series is Donald Duck dressed up as a wizard, so cringe isn't really something which I experience too often. You can also choose to explore these characters further in side story content, and here's where the collectibles from each level come in. Now, at any time after completing the first set of levels, you can go and talk to other characters in the hub and give them the collectibles you found as gifts. This will unlock either some additional dialogue, a memory of you with this character in the past, or even a side quest, which will be a special level with a theme related to the character. Violets, for instance, are all terrifying and sadistic and dangerous, with spikes everywhere, which you have to carefully dodge and weave around as you go through the level, whereas reds are more around mastering a specific soul card. Now, you don't get medals for these, but they're fun to play and worth doing. There is also, of course, a wider narrative about the 10 days of judgment, and as you go, you'll find out more about what these missions really mean and uncover the secrets that Heaven is keeping. And obviously, I won't go into any more detail than that, because it's genuinely worth experiencing yourself. This is very much a come for the shooting demons, stay for the why am I shooting demons kind of game. I wasn't expecting to like the story as much as I did, but it was really enjoyable. All in all, I've got nothing but praise for this game. It's up there as an indie game of the year for me, and for 20 quid, I think it's well worth the price. It has almost 100 levels, spanning 12 chapters. It'll keep you playing for a while, and if you wanted to go for those leaderboard top spots, obviously the replayability then just becomes endless. Now, I don't particularly like giving games a numbered rating. I understand why it's kind of necessary within the industry, but personally, I find them a little arbitrary. So the most I'm going to say is, I highly recommend Neon White, and I think this review speaks for itself. I really hope you enjoyed this video. It's the first one I've done of this kind, and I'll be looking to make more YouTube specific content in the future. So if you could subscribe to the channel, like the video, or comment, I would really appreciate that. It helps me a lot. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.